Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to explain K-means clustering with SWOT example. So what is clustering? Let's understand with example. So this is Bob and Bob wants to open pizza outlet and wants to select a location for targeted customer. The selection of location is based on income and population. So let's plot it on X and Y axis. X axis represents population and Y axis represents income. The population is from low to dense and income is from low to high. Now this is a particular cluster in which there is a dense population with high income level people staying with high income level, and Bob is interested to open a pizza outlet in such location, and there is another location with low income and low population, so Bob is at all not interested to open his outlet in this area. So we have to cluster it into two categories like this, classified, and then based on different location he has to take a decision. See location A. Location A is with dense population and people staying with high income level. So it falls in this category and hence there is chance that he will select this location. Then there is location B with low population and low income, and hence it will fall somewhere here, and Bob may not be interested to select such location. Okay, now third location is location C with average population and average income, and it will fall somewhere here. And here this clustering and classification problem comes into picture. So here clustering plays a very important role in this. How Bob will take decision? He will make a circle of the same radius and see, since no blue stars fall in this circle and three red circles are falling in this, there are very high chances that Bob will select location C. Now what is K-means clustering? Now you must have seen my video on unsupervised learning algorithm. This is machine, and to this machine we give unlabeled data. This is prism, cube and balls, and what this machine does with this algorithm, it will divide it into three clusters based on its shape, size, color, etc. And then it will separate this cubes and prism, cubes and balls like this. So K-means is one of the simplest unsupervised learning algorithm that solve the well-known clustering problem. Now in K-means clustering, this K represents number of clusters. Now in this example, there are three clusters. So K is equal to 3. Now let's see a simple example, a layman example. These are some boys, and this is the serial number, and height and weight or width is given, and it is plotted on X and Y axis, and based on their height, weight, whether it is average weight and low height or heighted with low width, they are divided into three different clusters. So we will solve a similar example. Let's understand this column represents boys, and we have numbered them from 1 to 10. So there are 10 boys having different heights and weights. So if you take an example, this is first boy represented by yellow smiley, and his height is 4 feet and weight is 50 kgs. And now we want to divide it into different clusters. So let's make two clusters, that is K equal to 2, and we will represent it by K1 and K2. So this is cluster K1 and this is cluster K2. Now select centroid for K1 and K2. So this is centroid for K1 and this is centroid for K2. Now what are the values of centroid of K1 and K2? So let this row 1 represent the centroid for K1. This is assumption. And row 2, let's understand that, let's assume that this row 2, that means orange smiley, represents the centroid for cluster K2. Okay, and hence what I did, this is K1 and this is cluster K2. I have assigned 1. 1 represents first row and 2 represents second row. So I have already assigned this 1 to K1 and 2 to K2. So this is our first assumption. Now what is next process? So what is centroid value for K1 then? So centroid value is 4, 50. And what is centroid value for K2? 5, 56. That means second row. Okay. Now let's assign other entries to K1 or K2 using Euclidean distance formula. That means now we have to start from row 3 till row 10 and we have to assign these rows, that means this third smiley, fourth smiley, either to K1 or K2, and what is the base? Based on Euclidean distance formula. Now what is x0 and xc? X0 are observed values, okay, and xc are centroid values. Now centroid values, you know, these are centroid values, okay, these are centroid values are already assigned. Then what is observed value? The remaining values are observed values. See, these are observed values. Now we will start with row 3. Okay. See, row 1 we have already assigned to K1. Row 2 we have already assigned to K2. Now we have to think for K3 whether this 3 belongs to K1 or K2. Okay, so how to go ahead? For row 3, find out Euclidean distance for K1. Okay, for row 3, what is x0? X0 is 5.5. What is xc? Xc is this centroid value 4. Okay, now for y0, what is value y0? 83. And what is yc? Yc is this 50. For K1, we will calculate Euclidean distance for K1 and we have got this 33.03. Now we will calculate Euclidean distance for K2. For K2, x0 and y0 will not change. Remember, for K2 and K1, x0 and y0 will not change. They are same. That is row number 3. But centroid will change. Now x is this 5. Okay, and yc is this 56. And put these values into this equation and you will get this value, that is 27.00. Now compare K1 and K2. So K2 is smaller than K1. So since Euclidean distance for K2 is smaller than Euclidean distance for K1, this third smiley belongs to K2. Third smiley means third row. So 3 belongs to K2 and hence we will write, see, this is yellow smiley that belongs to K1. Orange smiley belongs to K2. That it was our assumption. Based on our assumption, then we have done calculations and observed that the third smiley, that is green smiley, belongs to cluster K2. Okay, now we will go for row 4. Now here, before going to the next slide, remember that the new value, that is 3, is entered into K2. Okay, this 3 entered into K2 and not in K1, and hence when we calculate for 4, centroid of K1 will not change, but centroid of K2 will change. Since there is new value in K2, the centroid of K2 will change, and since there is no new value in K1, centroid of K1 will remain same. And you can see when we go for row 4, the centroid of K1 remains same, that is 4, 50. So it will remain same and centroid of K2 will change. Now how to calculate centroid for K2? How to calculate? Take previous centroid. What was previous centroid? Previous centroid was 5, 56. So take previous centroid. See, this is 5 and this is 56. So previous centroid 5 plus this entered value 3, 5.5. Take average of these two. Previous centroid and then we have entered 3 into K2. So this 5.5, its average is 5.25. And previous 56 and what we entered 83. means third row, we entered into K2. So this 83, take its average and we got 69.5. So these two values are new centroid values for K2, and now centroid of K2 will change to 5.25 and 69.5. The remaining process is same. Again, you have to use same formula since we are doing it for row 4. Now our x0, that means observed value, is 4.5 and y0 is 45. So again we will calculate Euclidean distance for K1 and Euclidean distance for K2. Now x0 and y0 will remain same for both cases. This is 4.5, 45, 4.5, 45, and xc for K1 is 4, yc is 50, and for K2 xc is now 5.25 and yc is 69.5. And then we have got these two values. Now again, which one is smaller? Now K1 is smaller. So what we'll have, row 4, that means this blue smiley will belong to K1. Since this 5.02 is smaller than this 24.5, row 4, that means blue smiley will belong to K1, and hence 4 will enter here. Understood? So what will happen? Now blue smiley belong to K1. Now what is next? Next we have to go to 5. Now new value entered in K1 and not in K2. So centroid of K1 will change and centroid of K2 will remain this. Okay. So now centroid of K2 remains same. Okay. And centroid of K1 will change. So again you have to take the previous value, that is 4 and 50, and this 4 you have to add it to this because 4 entered into K1. 4 entered into K1, so you have to take this 4.5, average it with 4, and take 45, average it with previous centroid, and you will get new centroid values for K1. It will something like this. Then again use same formula. Now our x0 is, we are doing for 5. So this is x0, this is our x0, and this is our y0. Okay. So again put these values. This is x0 5.8, x0 5.8, y0 67, and x is this 4.5 new, and YC is this new 47.5, and for this XC and YC, that is previous steps calculated values. And then we have calculated this ED for K1, Euclidean distance for K1, and Euclidean distance for K2. Now which is smaller? Now K2 is smaller. ED for K2 is smaller. So this row 5. Row 5 means this smiley belongs to K2. Row 5, can you see? Row 5 belongs to K2, and hence smiley entered in K2 along with the previous smileys. Okay, now let's go to next row, that is 6th row. Now in previous case where it entered K2, now centroid of K2 will change and centroid of K1 will remain same. In the next step, you can see centroid of K1 remains same and centroid of K2 will change. Again, you have to take the previous value, and what we enter 5.8 and 67 into K2. So take this for calculating the average, and then you got new centroid values for K2. Repeat the procedure and find out Euclidean distance. And now which one is smaller? Again Euclidean distance for K2 is smaller, and hence row 6. That means white smiley will enter into K2. So you can see 6 entered into K2, and white smiley will also enter into K2. Now 7th row. Now in previous case where we entered K2. So again now K2 centroid will change. For 7, K1 remains same and centroid of K2 will change. Again repeat the same procedure. Again calculate Euclidean distance for both. and row 7 means this pink smiley to which it belongs. Now K1 is smaller. Euclidean distance for K1 is smaller than Euclidean distance for K2. So it should enter into K1. You can see here it has entered. So this smiley belongs to K1. Okay, along with the previous smileys. Now next is row 8. Again repeat the same procedure. Calculate. Now K2 centroid of K2 will remain same. Again calculate new centroid for K1. Now here see. Again this is smaller. So row 8. Row 8 means this green smiley will belong to K1 and it will enter into cluster K1. Now next row 9. Here this smiley belongs to K1 because this is smaller than this. So again it will enter here and it will smiley will enter here. Now last for row 10. Again centroid of K2 remains same. Calculate new centroid for K1. Repeat the procedure. Make calculations. Again you will get 2 Euclidean distance for K1 and K2, and Euclidean distance for K2 is small, and hence row 10, that means this reddish dark pink smiley, that means 10 will enter into K10, and hence at the end now we are able to make two clusters wherein each smiley belong to one cluster, either K1 or K2, like this. So this is how the k-mean clustering works. I hope you understood. Thank you.